Hey guys, I just wanted to talk a little bit about my why is that person parked there? That's not in the park, sir. Ma'am. I just wanted to talk about my extended family for a little while. Um, not the bad side, not the traumatic side, not the abusive side, really. Not the mentally ill side, but the I mean, you know, there's a lot of successful people in my family line and incredibly successful and talented. Um, Also from my just strange, but it really does run in families because my this functional family that I was raised around or knew about at least. Um, we're talented in their own ways and musicians. I always thought like I got my humor and my I wouldn't say. I mean, I used to be more well bully, I guess you could say, especially in my normal state where the trauma isn't involved. Well, if it wasn't involved, let's say. But so I I always admired that about my dad's side of the family. Like everyone was always so happy. I mean, there was so much dysfunction and abuse and drugs and alcohol problems and all these things, mental problems, but they always had like a uh just like a jovial attitude about things and um never showed discontentment with their lives. Like they were just fine with being poor and getting by, but at least they had their talents to enjoy and to share with the family. So like my aunt that died, she I remember her talking to me about how she got involved with men that were abusive towards her and kind of brought her down in life. And she was a musician, and she used to play guitar and also sing in like clubs and stuff like that, like low key kind of thing. And she would meet men there and stuff like that. So it ended up being the wrong type of men, and her life kind of went down for that. But my grandfather um had his own band. He traveled a lot. He had a lot of children. Um, but the woman that he married, which was my grandmother, she was in love with him, but ended up leaving him because she finds out about all these cheating things that he would do. Like he was a womanizer and he was a musician, so he would cheat a lot on the roads and stuff like that. So she just kind of got tired of that. Am I recording? So it's understandable, but she would travel like cross country and just like what they ended up in California from New York City, and then like I think New Mexico, right? New Mexico for a little bit. So my family's very spread out. like that, just different. Like if you're going to go see my family in New Mexico, they're a whole different type, because they're like more, there's like Mexicans there, and like they mixed with the Mexicans. You know, I'm Puerto Rican, but they mix with the Mexicans that are there, that are majority. So I have like Mexican family members from there. So then the California relatives I have are, I don't even know half of them, but they also have their own way of life. It's a whole different state, like, you know. It's crazy. I mean, my whole family is very, very spread out and very varied, but yet we all, not all of us, but most of us have the same kind of like attitude and like charisma. I don't know how to say it, but I can't even find the word. But even through all the dysfunction, they were always happy and joined together in some way or another. But my mother's side is a difference. It's like rigid. It's completely different. It's like complete opposite of my father's side. So it's like stern, rigid, and not unemotional, unexpressive, not much expression, stuff like that. So my mother's like that, and it's just very strange, my combination, I guess you could say, but to who I am. But I ended up more like my dad's side, which he's an alcoholic. But hold on a minute. What? So anyway, but he's also a musician, but not professionally. He plays piano and sings, but he was never like professional. He was just kind of like joining with my aunts and my other family, my cousins, but not like in bars and clubs like they would do. So he's done some recordings, like records, but you know, like you go to a place and you go to a studio and you pay like to record. I'm not even sure, but I was even thinking of doing that myself. But he has a lot of those in his house. Like back then there were cassettes, so he's got tons of cassettes with his face like on the thing, where like him at the studio and the videos of him in the studio. But anyway, but I mean, you know, this is my family. It runs in my family, this kind of a profession and a talent. So that's why I have two celebrity relatives that I was not at all surprised when I found out, because what I did was I was actually talking to my sister, which she's also a musician, but she has bipolar, so she's in and out of the, like when she's manic, she's all in with the band and stuff, but then when she's depressed, it lasts for a long time, and then she kind of just drops it, and then eventually it falls apart because her band members, they don't understand the condition. And I mean, you know, it's difficult to live with that. And she has other situations because of what happened to her, and it was really traumatic. So by my father, so she me and her, we used to sing when I was little. Or my sister came to live with us at one point in time, temporarily, and And so my dad would have his piano, he would sing, he would get us to sing. We would have to be on like not a stage, but in like in a mic, our own microphone we have in the apartments, this little apartments in Brooklyn. And you know, like, it's crazy, but you're not really supposed to be making noise. But in New York City, like, this is a commonality that everyone knows. It's chaos. Like, you always hear the neighbors no matter where you live there. So, you know, it's apartment living for the most part there. And so we have recordings of us singing and stuff like that together. Me by myself, her by herself. I never learned to play guitar. I did have like an electric guitar, but it was like a kiddie electric guitar, which I played with, but I really didn't get into much. So I wasn't into that. I was more into the singing. So yeah, I wasn't it. Even the piano, I never got to learn that. My dad tried to teach me a few times, or he keeps saying, "Oh, I'm gonna teach you." No, he taught himself how to play piano, and also my brother taught himself how to play piano. So my brother is the one that plays piano and keyboard and all of that. Then I have and he also had a YouTube channel. He got a lot of views, and I was like, yes, encouraging him to do it, and just, I don't know what happened. So he just stopped doing it. And then like, he didn't show his face or anything. It was just like him with the keyboard, you know. But now he has all these other gadgets, like synthesizers. I don't know, like the DJ thing. And then two of my cousins are DJs, like the actual DJ. Like, these are the unknowns. These are just like, you know, local DJ, local artists, whatever. Sorry about the noise. Jeez. I have another cousin. He does it for a living. He plays in a band as well, a salsa band. But he plays like piano. He's on the piano most of the time. I don't know if he sings, but I always see him on my Facebook thing when he does the shows, his live stuff. So that was one of my cousins, my aunt's son. Two that I know of. Two of my brother's daughter, and one of my brothers is in the military. And not sure how that happened. That's like completely different than being an artist. It's like the opposite. It's like more conservative, I guess you would say. So you see how some people turn out different. But because my brother's very professional. He's a teacher now, and he used to work in the World Trade Center during the time that the World Trade Center, you know, that happened. And he got a lot of money, let's say, from that. And then he pursued teaching, and then he went on to do that. I'm not sure what he was doing in the World Trade Center, like for work. I'm not sure what his job was then. But yeah, the other brother that was in the military, and I have no idea what happened to him. He disappeared off of my Facebook, so I don't know. These are all my older brothers. I met him a few times, but actually I'm more connected with the other older brother. I have so many brothers and sisters. Then I have another brother in New Mexico, because my dad, when he was living there temporarily, because my grandmother moved there, he impregnated somebody that was a Mexican woman. So then I have a brother that's half Mexican that lives there, and then he has a whole family of his own that is, you know, Mexican, Puerto Rican, and whatever. I don't know, white. I think the lady's white that he's had the kids with. I'm not sure, but I know they are related. We all look alike. Because I'm half white, so, and they are. Anyway, I never met him, but I talk to him sometimes. The music wise, I don't see that in him. He's a little bit different because he has a different mom and stuff too. I don't know if that matters. That actually doesn't matter. But anyway, he's like a tow truck driver, and like he's one of those real manly man kind of men. I don't know how to explain that. Oh my god, I have my card in here. Forgot. Anyway, so who else did I know? Do I know in my family that is not what they do? My grandmother, she's always singing. I don't know much about her because she doesn't speak English, speaks Spanish only. So it's like when I try to communicate with her, my dad doesn't really want to translate the language, and that pisses me off because anytime I see her, I want to communicate well with her, and then it's just like, okay. But when she's singing, you know, I always see her singing when she's around. She's always like praying, very religious, and prays and sings for God and all of that. So yeah, that's her. And she's, you know, she's from Puerto Rico, so, but for some reason she never learned English. I'm not sure how that happened, but she didn't learn English. Very little, which is disappointing to me, I think. But whatever. I mean, it's not easy to learn a different language, especially when you're grown already, you know, when you move to another country. But, well, it's a different, it is a different country. Commonwealth, whatever. But, who else? I have another cousin that's an interior designer, very well known one. He's like a socialite, so you know what I'm saying. He travels all over. Him I met a few times, and I know him. I saw him not long ago actually. Anything else that I've ever like? So this is what I was brought up. These people I was brought up knowing of and being around, and kind of like, you know. So that's where I get my talent from, because I don't know, it's just innate. I thought it was just innate, and everyone is so talented in my family. Not only that, we're all funny, and like we crack jokes a lot. Like everything is funny to us. Like we always laughing. Not my brother, because he's on my mom. He's my mother, not me. He's not my dad at all. He's all my mother, and I'm all my dad for the most part. We even look like, I look like my dad, and he looks like my mom. It's so weird. Like we're opposites. Even though my brother is very talented and also is into music, and he learned on his own how to play the piano and the organ, you know, whatever the freaking electrical. I don't know, because I don't play that. So if I wanted to sit and learn about it, I probably could learn it quick and easy. But I'm trying to get my kids involved and stuff like that. My son is interested in more like singing, dancing. He's a good dancer. My daughter is a model. I put her in modeling and all that, so she's like a model. I have to get her headshots and everything when she's old enough that we're gonna pursue that. She wants to pursue it professionally, and also her degree, and she's kind of iffy on that. Like she doesn't know if she wants to do a lawyer or accounting or something like that, but she might change her mind. But then she wants to do the modeling on the side, and in New York City you could do stuff like that. Anyway, so, and like my son, I could see he's more like me, where he would be more of a singer type, and interested in more of dancing. He likes dancing. So we all have some kind of a talent for the most part in my family. Now my mother's side, very hardworking, very studious. More like, you know, my grandfather's very hardworking. He worked many years in a Park Central Hotel, I think it was called. I don't know the name now. I thought it was the Omni Hotel. Park Central in Manhattan. For many years, he was a hardworking immigrant of this country, and but he knew English very well. Unlike my grandmother, because my other grandmother was Italian, didn't know a lot of English. So, but it was hard for her to learn. She had her own issues, you know, the mental problems. So it's hard for her to understand English. But I don't know much about my Italian side. Actually, I don't know much about my Italian side as much as I would like to, because like my mother is real fucked up person where she just like kind of like disowned herself. Like she disowns her heritage. She even speaks Italian, but she won't speak it, and she just like disowned herself, and just she's one of those sellouts is what I call her. Like she just fits into the surroundings because she's a narcissist, a chameleon. So anyway, we don't get along at all. We're not the same. We don't get along at all. How close are you? Like, chill. Anyway, so and also I don't like her because the way that she treated my grandmother, which she's a very ill person that like she had schizophrenia and stuff like that. So you don't treat somebody like that. She was always so pleasant and nice and loving, and that's the reason why I have compassion and all of that I learned from her. So thank God for her. And I hate my mother, really resent her for the way she treated her before she died. And she knows it. So she hates me, but she hates me because I know a lot about her. And her kids have no idea what they're dealing with. Her other kids from some other guy, forget about them. That's a whole different family problem. There's nothing to do with us. But so anyway, like I was saying, so my whole life, sorry, this is now gonna go, but just momentarily. Okay, so my whole life, what is that? So my whole life, now it's gonna be loud. Whoops. Alright. Okay, so my whole life I knew there was like something that I could bank upon for myself and my family, whomever, but the trauma and the abuse and dysfunction and all that got in the way and kind of made me get what I have as a disorder, and everyone's disorder has something to do with all of that trauma in the childhood that was not addressed and swept under the carpet. So I'm the only one addressing it, so I become a scapegoat and all that, and it's really ridiculous, but and it's lonely, but it is what it is. Like I said, when I found out that I have relatives that are famous and celebrities, I was like, I'm not surprised, not at all. Because ever since I was younger, I wanted to be a celebrity. I wanted to be an actress. I wanted to, I took acting classes. I tried out for modeling and other things that were, I actually got discovered for modeling. And then that didn't work out because my mother came around with me because I was underage, and she was like talking shit to the lady, and they wanted to do my headshots, but really she didn't want to pay for the headshots, I guess. And then she was criticizing the company and saying, well, you know, these girls aren't even that great looking and stuff. And I'm just like mortified by what I'm hearing, and I was just excited over that, and I started crying because the lady kicked us out of the office, and I couldn't, that was traumatic for me. I couldn't stop crying. Like, I was devastated because I was getting signed for print ads that I was going to be doing, and they were gonna come off of a database of modeling, like they pick from the database of the models there to do certain print ads and stuff like that work. So yeah, I know I could have kept on pursuing and things like that. I also met another person who gave me their card for modeling as well when I was working, when I was young. Like, I was skinny and everything. I was thin, I was good, fit. So it's not like, but I always had like very good skin and certain features, and everybody would say, oh, well, you'd be good as a model, blah, blah, blah. But that gets the narcissist jealous, which was my mother. All that time I didn't know it was, because my mother is not, I mean, like, not to be rude or something, but she isn't the greatest looking person, and no, not I don't look much at all like my mother at all. I look like my dad, and my dad was very, very attractive growing up, and a ladies' man. Like, forget about it. He was also almost in a movie. He was on TV once. He worked for a talent agency, and all that, but then, he got involved with the wrong people supposedly, and then he turned into an alcoholic, and like, I don't know, he's still an alcoholic to this day. It's hard to make it out there, but like I said, it did not surprise me when I found out that I do have family that made it big. And the thing is that one of them died young, and he had, I don't think it wasn't bipolar, it was like, I forgot. It said in the book that that his mother wrote, that I bought the book, but like, they diagnosed him with something along with maybe a cluster B disorder or something like that. Like, it wasn't narcissist, but I forgot. I have to reread it, but and all these issues. But my cousin, he's my cousin. Like, he forgot now again what number. There's like numbers and removals from the number. It's like third cousin, second cousin 2 times removed, I believe. Now I gotta go look at my chart again, because I have on Ancestry.com, which also has the proof there. I have DNA matched to a first cousin of him, which I'm in communication with now, which I'm trying to get her to help me to talk to my cousin, my famous cousin that's alive still, which he actually helped me to, that he actually noticed me when I texted him. I told him, like, hey, I just found out that we're related, and I don't want to bother you, but something simple like that. And then I tagged my cousin that we share together, which is his second cousin. It was his father's, which is famous. It was his first cousin. So then his son is what, the second cousin. These cousin things is difficult to figure out the number wise, but we're connected with the what was it? The mother is first cousins with my great grandmother. Not grandmother, great grandmother. So, and all that is in the actual Ancestry thing that we paid for. So you see it there, and then you could connect to my shared cousins' family tree, and then you see in the family tree the celebrity family members that I have. So all that I just discovered what's let's say 2 years ago, and like I said, I was raised around a certain type of family that it makes sense to me, and I'm from New York City, so everything matched. I did some really good deep research, and my brother was doing it, and he has 2 college degrees and everything, and he was really interested in the genealogy and stuff like that. So, and then there's some other actually family members that confirmed it that I didn't even know, like, because they were into genealogy as well, and they just knew, like, from, I guess, you know, because I wasn't in touch with any of my family members really, because my mom left my dad. She moved out of state, and then the stepfather stepped in, you know, so it was terrible. But so anyway, it sucks knowing this, because I wasted quite a bit of time knowing in my mind what I really wanted to do and pursue, and could have been successful doing so, and I didn't, because of my family dysfunctions. And you know, they always find a way to grab your attention on them, and it's just like you can't focus on your own goals. And then I met a guy that was really messed up in my teen years, and I got married to him, and then he just fucked up my whole life, because I thought this was like a Prince Charming person, and he ended up being an abuser and a narcissist, I believe, and a cheater and all that. I mean, he destroyed I already have my borderline thing, so I can't deal with that kind of rejection or whatever, abandonment or whatever. Anyway, but I have 2 kids from him. So, you know, I wasted quite a bit of time with him and trying to make that family unit thing work, and just didn't really focus on my own goals, which I always had since I was. People know who they are, you know what I'm saying? If you're not a narcissist, they don't even have identities. I have no idea what they think about it. But I always had an identity. It's just, it was interrupted, and I always had to, like, be in the middle of fights between the narcissist, this other freaking, I don't know, some psychopath probably in my family, a lot of violence and shit, and I had to put myself in the middle of it, and it's just fucked up my mind a lot. And I just chased for that family unit, and when I found my husband, I thought that was it, and that was the way to go, and I was doing the right thing. And forget about what I really want to do. I give all to them. So I was raised to, like, give to these type of people and forget about myself, kind of neglect myself. I don't know how to explain that. But anyway, so, and the loss of connection with family was, once my mom left my dad, I didn't really see my actual dad's family much. My mom's family is very dysfunctional, and they didn't have extended family because they're from Italy, and the family is like, some of the family came here, but then I don't remember meeting them, like, maybe when I was very little, but then after that I don't know what happened. I think they just stopped talking to each other because of the way my grandmother's mental illness showed itself, so embarrassed my grandfather. But so, you know, I'm very ethnic, and I grew up ethnic. Not many people care or even really know really much about me. Like, you won't be able to tell much about me just by looking. You have to really get to know me. So anyway, that's why I need to, you know, say what I really am, my truth and everything, for somebody who cares to listen, I guess. But so what was it again? Oh my god, I'm so slow. But my second cousin, 2 times removed, is Freddie Prinze Jr. No, Freddie Prinze, the original senior, the comedian that died and killed himself. And I can understand why, because mental illness runs my family, okay? So I think about suicide a lot too myself with my own condition. So anyway, but, and then, oh, I also have a nephew that was into comedian. He was doing like in New York City, he was doing those shows, what do they call them, shows, like you go on there and you do a skit or whatever. And he did that a couple times, and then he gave up for some reason. But yeah, so so he is my real cousin, pretty close actually in bloodline, because some people have like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 cousins, but he is my second cousin, twice removed. So it has to do with the generations, 2 times removed generation wise. And then his son, which is Freddie Prinze Jr., is my cousin as well. So he would be, if it was calculated correctly on the ancestry.com, it's a 3rd cousin, 1 time removed, I believe, 1 generation, something like that. But I really gotta make sure of it and look at it, make sure every little detail is correct, because my brother's pretty diligent with the information and attaching the documents, and they help you when you sign up for the ancestry. They help you to match the documents and everything, so you don't do all the work. You gotta pay for that. So anyway, but so those are, excuse me, I'm really related to them, and I'm in the process right now again. I don't want to bother my cousin. He's a busy man. He's very, very, very productive. He has his own life going. I mean, you know, it's hard. I don't even know. Like, I even asked my cousin, you know, that's his cousin also, how often do you see him? Or, you know, because they always comment to each other and they like each other's pictures a lot, and you know, he mentions her on lives and things like that. But and they're close because they grew up together. And again, she is the first cousin of Freddie Prinze Sr., and they look alike. Oh my god, they look so much alike, let me tell you. It's amazing. But so so I was asking her, I was like, when was the last time? I know he's a busy man, he's famous, like, you know, when people become famous like that, they don't stay in touch with their family, I would assume. I don't know. I don't know what they would do, but I'm assuming they don't. And so I'm like, what was the last time that you seen him, or, you know, spoke to him? She's like, oh, I barely, years ago, I haven't seen him. And they only talk through the Instagram. And I'm like, really? That's great. So where's my hope? You know, the hope that I have, the only hope that I have is, at least, is what I was telling her, at least I would like him just to add me as a friend. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I mean, and nobody believes me. You know, a lot of people, they don't believe me, or they don't even care. But just so once I start something, I need to finish it. Like, you know, I think I deserve that much, you know, some kind of credit, acknowledgement, or whatever you might say. Like, I'm not gonna go stalking him, or, like, you know what I'm saying, something like that, if he's not interested in being involved, which I could understand, because we are from the dark side over here of the family. You know what I'm saying? Like, the wrong side of the tracks, let's say. But we all came from the same island here, and landed on the same island in Manhattan, okay? But, you know, my great-grandmother went her separate kind of way, and destiny is destiny, you know what I'm saying? We can't all make it. It is what it is. So, am I still recording? Sorry, this is long. But, geez, let me see. This is a picture of my Senior is the one that died at 22, I think it was, or was it 21? Very young, and I just kind of think of myself at that age. I was into drugs and all that. I just so resonated, you know what I'm saying? That I could have went that route too. That could have been me in the same way. Because knowing me, I'm more like him than, let's say, Freddie Prinze Jr. His attitude is a little bit different than what his father was. More flamboyant, more like, I don't know. Like, I was into drugs and stuff when I was young. And, I mean, it could have ended up that way. I would have ended up one of those stars that got famous and then died and killed themselves, or like overdosed on drugs. That's basically what I probably would have done. I mean, honestly. But you never know. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that, since, you know, I like talking about it. I don't mind talking about it. I don't want to brag. I try not to talk about it much at all. But you know, I was in the mood too. I was just thinking about my actual family and how much alike we are, even in looks and everything like that. Even in my daughter has the same dimples, the two on the side, very, very pronounced. She has pronounced dimples right here, which is like the Junior, Freddie Prinze Jr. has trademark dimples. My daughter has the same ones. Me myself, I have more like a chubby, like baby face type thing, like Senior, like Freddie Prinze Senior. You know, and he looks a lot like my dad, I think. I have like sometimes I get one dimple like over here, but I have the dimple here, which is very unique. And I used to get made fun of this right here. Everyone hates it, but I think it's cool. I like my dimple here. The butt chin, whatever. It's awesome. Anyway, okay, so that's it. I gotta go in the store, and that's all I wanted to say. So you know, just doing a little bragging, just because I feel like it. Okay, I'm not gonna do it again. I promise. Okay. Thank you very much for watching, and I appreciate everybody who subscribes. Please comment to encourage me to make the videos. I really do appreciate it, and have a great day, guys. Bye.